Hello darlings, how are you? Today I'm talking about a very, very serious matter, which is why on earth does God allow all of this horrible suffering to go on in this world? And it's a valid question, and I'm going to dig through it. I'll tell you all about it, and we'll talk all about it on the other side. So recently, Gary and I had a chat, and during the chat we said this, and I'm just sort of paraphrasing what we said. We said, life is a game, it's just a game, and nothing is real. And that's truly what I believe. However, in the comments, a lady called Amanda said, okay, it's very easy to say life is a game when it's all going well. However, just at that point, people in other countries, in Jamaica, I think, were suffering this incredible storm. And she was suggesting that they would certainly not be thinking that this was a game. And I agree, they wouldn't. In fact, I know I've said a number of times in the past that no matter how much they say to us that this is a game, and that they say, I say it, but they also say, life's a game, it's a game. But no matter how many times that they say that, that does not take away from the fact that if somebody's punching you in the face repeatedly, it's not funny. It's not going to be funny, and it's not going to not hurt. So clearly, the other day I did something with my shoulder. I think I mentioned it. Been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. I've been waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, not being able to get to sleep. It's getting fixed now. But that wasn't funny. That wasn't the game. And at the time, I wasn't thinking, oh, well, this doesn't exist. This pain doesn't exist. Just rise above it, Gordon. No. So if the fact is that we suffer pain, we're here, and we experience pain, and pain is not nice, there must be something behind the expression life is a game. It must mean something else. What it doesn't mean is life is all sweetness and light. That's not what it's saying. So what does it mean to say that life is a game? Has anybody seen the Squid Games? And notice that that's called game. Squid Games. Yeah? And the most horrific thing that you'll see, where everybody pops their clogs except one person at the end. That's called a game. Right? So I think, first of all, we need to understand that the word game does not necessarily mean fun. The word game does not intrinsically mean we're going to have a great time. No, it's a game. But it means that it's not real. That means it's a game. It's been invented and you are part of it, but it's an invention. This isn't normal. This isn't real. Okay? And so we've got this situation where we come here, and I think most of us now, given the journey that we've been on, given what we've seen, we know that what's happening in this matrix is a load of shit. It's a load of bollocks, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. I think we can all agree on that, can't we? And so in that way, it's a game that's happening. It can't be real. I mean, Trump changes his height in every photo that I see. He's a different height. It's the most bizarre thing ever. His face gets wide and then it's narrow, and his body's wide, and he goes up and down and in and out. Now, it could be a trick of the camera, or it could be a trick of they're just bringing in whoever, next one, bring him in. Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just get the sense that what we observe is not real in the slightest. Does it make it fun? No, it doesn't. When I saw Erica Kirk ruffle JD Vance's hair, saying nobody could replace her husband, but JD Vance does a pretty good job. And she ruffled his hair and everything, and it was all very nice. And my mind is going, what the actual fuck is going on? This is not reality. You know, this is not the way that it should be. I watch Queer Starmer make a speech, and I look and I think, is he even real?
Well, we want to do this and that.
It's like a spitting image puppet. Just like the spitting image puppet. Like, who is that? What is he? Is he real? I don't think so. And so I think we could probably all agree that this world is fake. And the longer that we're in it, the more fake it's becoming. And I think that's to do with the split, the energetic split. The more we align ourselves to the right-hand path, the more distant everything looks, the more bizarre everything looks. And so just because we can say life is a game doesn't make light of it. And certainly that was never my intention, to make light of the fact that life is hard. Life's tough. This life is a tough one. And, you know, now, sometimes I feel a little bit guilty, and I shouldn't. Well, I don't know why I would feel guilty, but, you know, it's just the way that things happen. Because my life is so beautiful now. However, I have had my fair share of difficult times. In fact, the whole half of the front end of my life was a difficult time, from beginning to end. It was horrific. Quite why the universe has decided to give me a nice ending. And hey, I'm saying ending, I've still got another 50, 60 years to go yet, with a fair wind. So, nice, it's given me the nice next bit. Yeah, I've had 2 lives. But I do know about suffering. I understand what suffering is. And I understand that, you know, we should have compassion for everybody who's going through a difficult time. And at the same time, what I do know about suffering is that it ends. That's what I've learned. That no matter how bad you think it is, it will get better. That's just the way that I see things happening. And, you know, even if the better, it's so bad that the better is relieving yourself of this existence, to put it like that. Because then beyond that, it's going to get better. Okay, you go back to connect with your divinity and all of that. It's not bad, is it? But we're here, and it's tough. It's hard. And the biggest problem that we have with all of this, the biggest problem we have is that we want to blame somebody. We do. Like, right, who's fucking responsible for this? I'm going to kick your arse till your nose bleeds, as the expression goes in the northeast of England. I'm going to slap you daft. And that's because it's like, who on earth organised this? You know, who couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery? Whoever organised this once shot and was shit. It's awful. It's awful. And so we want to blame somebody, you know. And this is a problem, because the only person that we've got to blame is ourselves. If you want to blame, and I don't suggest for a moment that that's of any value, blaming anybody. The blame game, once you're into the blame game, there's no getting away from it. No, the only person that's responsible for us being here is ourselves. And that, right, let's just do a premise here, okay? Let's say, for example, that that's not true, right? And that actually somebody forced us to come here, okay? But we don't know. And so we have decided to believe that the only person who's responsible for us being here is us. Why would we do that? Well, we would do that because that instantly takes you out of victim and into victor, into hero. You go into hero mode. That I did this, and so if I did this, I can undo this. If I did this, then I must have had a bloody good reason. And so what happens is it makes you more accepting. It makes you be able to tolerate, because when it's your decision, it's much better than when it's somebody else's decision. My wife often talks about she's read a book 3 times, right? And the book is called El Camino, and it's a Spanish book. It's a very beautiful book. She read it at school, and she read it at school because she had to. It was within the curriculum. She didn't like it at all. She didn't like it. She read it and she hated it, and that was the end of that. Then when she was an adult and she was choosing a book to read, she chose that one and she read it and she loved it. And she read it again and loved it. Why is it that she loved it when she chose it and she hated it when it was given to her? It's the reason that the 2 rats in the cage, one with a red button and one without a red button to feed, the one without the button died. And the one with a button that was feeding both, fat as butter, happy as Larry, ha ha ha. When we have choice, when we know that we have chosen this, then we're far better at coping with it. It's a system that the baddies use on us all the time. They get us to believe that we have chosen the course of action that they then do. The Hegelian dialect, the problem, reaction, solution. They give us the problem, we react, and then they give us a solution and we choose that solution. And we're very happy with ourselves. Yeah, look at what we chose. We chose them to go and destroy all of that. Yeah, I feel so much better that I did that. Well, the same applies for us. When we believe that it was our decision, everything is easier. And so, back to the premise, it's not true. What if it's not true? What if we're being forced here every time? The difference is, if you believe that you're forced here, if you believe that you were here under duress, not under your dress, under duress, then you are going to be so pissed off, so angry, so miserable, and it's going to be the worst experience you've ever had in your entire incarnation. So what's the point of that? My belief, my firm belief is always choose the happy belief. Always choose the happy belief. Even if you're not sure. I've got these 2 beliefs. Look at this one. This is a fucking miserable belief, and this is an extremely happy belief. I'll have that one. I don't know which one's true. It doesn't matter. Just for you to be more efficient as a person, for you to be happier as a person, for you to be more effective, choose happy beliefs, even when you don't know. We know nothing. We know that we can't ever access the truth, so we may as well choose some happy beliefs. Some people say, oh yeah, but you've got to be a realist in this, Gordon. Don't be an idealist. Don't be a dreamer. Be a realist. The world's going to shite. And maybe it is. Maybe it is, but not my world. Their world. It's going to shite. But if that's what you believe, and if that's what you talk about, and that's what you feel, your existence is just not worth it. It's really not worth it. I would much rather live with hope than live without it. In fact, remember in the studies that they've done, people who have faith are just generally happier. They're just happy buggers. They can cope with all kinds of things. People who've got a bit of faith, that's all. And how many of us have been around somebody who is miserable as fuck? And what do we think? We think, get me out of here. Let me, in the first opportunity that I can make an excuse to leave, I'm leaving. Because they are as miserable as fuck. You leave, and then you're happy. They stay with their own selves, as miserable as fuck. They're doomed. Doomed to be miserable. Why? Just because they haven't had the perspicacity, the awareness to choose a happy belief. just because they don't realise that they don't know anything anyway, that we know nothing. And it's because they live under the false premise that they know what's going on. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Understand that we do not know anything about anything. We have no capacity to understand. And so if that's the case, grab onto the baubles, the Christmas baubles. Grab them. Don't be grabbing spiky stuff and horrible stuff. Grab the nice stuff. Grab the chocolates off the tree. And I'm using Christmas now because Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Grab the chocolates off the tree. Don't grab the spiky star and cut your hand. We don't know enough to be able to say that something is true or not. And the more that we go through this existence, the more we realise that we know nothing. We truly know nothing. And even the people who used to think that they knew are now a bit like that. And so, life is a game. What kind of game it is, well, that's for everybody to decide. It's not an easy one, that's for sure. But it still is a game. We are part of a process that we elected to join. Supposedly. Perhaps. Maybe. Who knows? I'd like to know your comments. What do you think? Do you think I'm right about choosing happy beliefs, or do you think I'm being a little bit naive? I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.